Are you making the most of social media marketing to attract clients? In today's video, I'm sharing some of my biggest mistakes so that preferably you don't have to make them too. Now, when you first start using social media for business seriously, you might feel awkward, and that's normal. For example, if you're showing your face, if you're posting videos, or if you're being silly on a reel, it might not feel natural to you. Now, some of that is normal because you're not used to it, or on the other end, you don't want to do anything that's not authentic, right? That doesn't align or represent your values in your business. So yes, you want to push yourself and make sure that you're, pushing yourself to really help you expand your marketing efforts, but you also want to act in alignment with your values. So if you're just not into dancing and singing, you don't have to, but you do want to find some way to show up consistently and build trust with your audience. One of the biggest mistakes that business owners make when developing a social media plan is not coming up with a strategy, a documented strategy that they're following consistently. And inconsistency can lead to missed opportunities. Or if something happens that helps you land a client or a lead, and you're not sure how to repeat that because you don't have it documented, well, that can be a waste of your time and resources. So maybe you're wondering, what should you do to get a better digital marketing strategy specifically related to social media? First, you have to define your goals. So what is it that you're trying to achieve from using social media marketing? Do you want to increase brand awareness? Do you want to drive traffic to your website? Or are you trying to sell something directly? Having one clear goal that you can create a strategy and then measure that strategy is what will help you succeed. And keep it simple. So I see two ends of the spectrum. Either business owners have no strategy and then they get discouraged and they're inconsistent, or they have too many goals and then they can't accomplish all those goals at once because their goals are competing. So choose one goal and then measure that one goal. Next, you want to identify your target audience. Who do you intend to serve? And more importantly, what are the frustrations and the struggles that this audience deals with on a daily basis? So what are the pains and frustrations that your business intends to solve? Now, as a business owner, you probably already know this, but you might not be honing in enough on the pains and frustrations. So you might want to take another look at this aspect of your business planning and then back up your thoughts with what people are saying. So you want to have conversations either with current customers or people who fit this type of profile that you're intending to serve. I know this can feel a bit theoretical, and for some of our clients it can feel frustrating, but you do want to validate your business idea, and you can do that better once you know that people do align with matching, that they do have the frustration and struggles that you intend to serve and solve for the persons you're creating content for. Because if you don't know who you're creating content for, then you really are throwing spaghetti at the wall. So the strategy will become enhanced if your ideal client and what their frustrations are very clearly documented. One of the mistakes I made when I very first started, and I don't regret it because at least I got started, but I wasn't entirely sure who I was serving. Now, my business dietitian boss helps registered dietitians start and grow a business, but when I first started and I first showed up on Instagram to use Instagram for business, I was a little bit more general, like helping health and wellness and talking about general business stuff. And then with time, I got more clear who the ideal client was, and I got more clear with what my strategy was with using Instagram, and then I was able to see a lot of success. So I narrowed down that I was helping registered dietitians specifically build their digital presence. Later, I honed in on business development in general, and that helped me be really specific with helping this type of ideal client. Even more specifically, I knew what type of dietitian, and I could really narrow down the pains and frustrations that they struggled with. Inconsistent branding across social media platforms can confuse people. So if you have different profile pictures or you don't have a similar font and color palette, it's not the end of the world. I would say this isn't as big of a deal as making sure you're clear about your messaging and how you're serving people and why. But it is important because people make this visual recognition. People have this ability to create patterns around colors and visuals. So the more clear you are with those concepts and consistent, people are going to start to remember you, and they're going to stop the scroll, and they might pay better attention. The other issue is lack of identification. So if you have a blurry picture on one platform and then you have a clear picture on another, let's say Instagram to Facebook or TikTok to Instagram or something, then people might not even know it's you. So you want to take some time and make sure that you've got some synergy from your website assets to your social media assets, and then you are telling the same story with similar visuals. So one of the mistakes I made is I've changed my color palette a couple times, and it had to do with refining and defining the ideal client. And at first I marketed mostly to women, and then I decided that I would help men and women. So I wanted to, our ideal client is still a woman, but we really want to be a little more gender neutral to support the field of nutrition and not just one gender within nutrition. So I chose to drop the pink to be a little bit more neutral with my color palette. So that's an example of a mistake I made, and I'm totally okay with it because you learn as you evolve. But I do think that there's something to be said about having the same color and having that same type of awareness as much as you can, because creating that continuity will help people remember who you are. Now, this one I think is the lowest hanging fruit, and that's lack of engagement. So if you have a bunch of people commenting, reaching out to you, engaging, you don't want to ignore those people. And if you don't yet have that type of traction on your account, which is normal, then you're going to want to spend some time with outreach, building relationships, finding people within your demographic. So when I first started, I found a ton of dietitians, and I would talk to them about their frustrations with starting their business, their frustrations with their pay, what they thought was wrong, and that they didn't align with in the field of nutrition. And in these genuine conversations, I would build relationships. And through those relationships, I got people to pay attention to me. And then as I told my story about what I was doing, people asked to hire me. So remember, until you have the traction, it's very rare that you just wake up and have a ton of comments and make a magnificent content that people love. There's a lot of work that goes behind that. So remember that building relationships and responding to the comments and DMs that you get that are relevant will help you build your brand identity. And that's one of the easiest things to do some outreach that's relevant to your ideal client and your target market, and also respond back to relevant comments on your feed so that you're really building that trust and within your community. If you found this video helpful, I want you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for this next video. If you are looking for coaching and you want some support to get your social media account really helping you get leads and clients, then I want you to apply for coaching in the link in the description box. And if you're looking for a free guide, I help save you time by already creating really compelling words for you to use on social media. So you can grab my free template below in the description box as well.